finna sneak into Costco. Hopefully no one sees me. Rich niggas go to Costco and shop wholesale. Oh my God. Oh, this shit crazy. Oh, fuck. Come on, man. Fuck. First and foremost, hopefully nobody see me. I'm in a filthy SUV that I gotta wash myself. I gotta get the slippery soap though. I'm in AutoZone. The boss shouldn't be in AutoZone, so now I gotta sneak into AutoZone, get the slippery soap, then wash the dirty SUV.
On May 15th, 2026, Drake dropped Iceman and buried this line inside it. If I'm lying, I'm flying economy. Give me a seat. If I'm lying, I'm flying economy. I bet I know who I see. On June 10th, 2026, 27 days later, Rick Ross was photographed in an airport terminal, dressed in Adidas gear, sitting in a public gate among regular travelers, boarding a Frontier Airlines commercial flight. No private terminal, no entourage, no Rolls-Royce luggage cart rolling across the tarmac. Frontier. Economy. The internet went completely thermonuclear. Drake fans treated it like prophecy fulfilled. And honestly, when you understand the full story of how these two got here, it hits even harder than the meme format suggests. Here is the foundation you need. William Leonard Roberts II, the man who would become Rick Ross, worked as a corrections officer at the South Florida Reception Center in Dade County from December 1995 to June 1997. Government records confirmed it. He earned $22,913 a year guarding prisoners. Then he built an entire rap persona around cocaine kingpin lifestyle, named himself after Freeway Ricky Ross, a real LA drug trafficker with zero connection to him, and spent the next 2 decades rapping about bricks, Bugattis, and being untouchable. When the smoking gun exposed it in 2008, with actual personnel records, he denied it and called the photos digitally altered. He only admitted it months later when lying became impossible. His whole foundation was performance. And for a long time, that did not matter, because the performance became reality. The Wingstop franchises were real. The 109-room mansion in Atlanta was real. The $35 million Gulfstream G550, with a custom black and gold paint job that cost an extra $500,000, with Rick Ross written in rose gold letters down the fuselage, was real. Maybach Music Group was real. The brand held because the numbers behind it were real enough. Then came the crack. Drake and Ross had been one of the most productive collaborative partnerships in hip-hop for years. Aston Martin Music off Teflon Don, Stay Scheming. Lord Knows off Take Care, Money in the Grave. 3 top 10 Billboard Hot 100 hits for Ross that Drake's cosign helped build. They were genuine musical brothers with a joint album rumored at one point. What cracked it was not music. In March 2024, Ross and his then-girlfriend Christina Mackey split. Within weeks, Mackey showed up as a special guest at Drake's It's All a Blur tour. Drake personally invited his former collaborator's ex to the show. Ross saw it, took it personally, and unfollowed Drake on Instagram. In 2024, an unfollow is a declaration of war. Drake noticed immediately. Instead of calling, he went to the studio. On April 13, 2024, push-ups leaked. Drake went at Ross directly. References to his age, his finances, his reliance on bigger names, and a dark subliminal about Diddy given what was already circulating about Diddy's legal situation at that time. Ross did not wait. Same day, he was in the studio. By that evening, DJ Akademiks was premiering Champagne Moments. Ross called Drake a white boy, a direct shot at his biracial identity. He accused him of getting a nose job, claimed Drake stole his flow from Lil Wayne, and released the full video days later. The first rapper in the entire Kendrick-Drake war to drop a visual for a diss record. He also chose a side. When Future and Metro Boomin dropped We Don't Trust You in March 2024, the album with Kendrick's Like That verse that lit the whole Civil War, Ross was on it, on Everyday Hustle. His presence was a statement before Drake even addressed him directly. Once Drake sent shots, Ross committed fully. For the rest of 2024 and into 2025, Ross trolled Drake relentlessly. When his Gulfstream G550 had its landing gear get stuck in the grass during a hard landing in Dallas in May 2024, Ross posted, "My jet just crashed. Drake's OVO F-16 fighter jet just shot us down." That was peak Ross energy. Chaotic, funny, calculated. He was keeping himself in the conversation while the Kendrick-Drake war consumed everything. At his Versus against French Montana in early 2026, he performed Aston Martin music but cut Drake's vocals entirely, then grinned while the crowd sang Drake's verse for him. Cold-blooded. And through all of it, he occasionally told interviewers he'd be open to squashing things depending on his morning Luc Belaire intake, then turned around on Instagram stories calling Drake washed. Both sides of his mouth. Constantly. May 15, 2026. Drake drops Iceman, Made in Honor, and Habibi simultaneously. His first release since For All the Dogs, Make Them Cry became the most streamed song in a single day on Spotify in all of 2026. The streaming crown never left Toronto. On Make Them Pay, Drake had one bar for Ross. "I was aiding Ross with streams before Aideen Ross had ever streamed." For those who do not know, Aideen Ross is one of the biggest streaming personalities on the internet. Drake had been on his streams, so he used the name to construct a double meaning. "I was aiding Ross, helping Rick Ross, boosting his streams, putting him on charts, before the internet streamer even existed." 9 words. Clever, dismissive, devastating. Then on Whisper My Name, the economy line landed. At the time of the album drop, people decoded it as general shots at rappers who perform wealth they do not actually have. Maybe aimed at Ross, maybe broader. Nobody had a photograph to attach to it yet. Drake wrote it, pressed it into the album, shipped it to the world, and waited. Ross responded to the whole Iceman release with aggressive defiance. He went on Instagram stories scrolling through complex coverage of Drake's bars, sarcastically yelling bars over and over. He told followers to reshare the cover of his forthcoming album Set in Stone because, and he said this, "Stone lasts forever and ice melts." It was cold. It also read like a man who felt the shots landing and needed to reframe fast. 27 days after the album, June 10, 2026. A Twitter account posts photos of a man looking very much like Rick Ross sitting in a standard airport gate area. Uncomfortable chairs bolted together, CNN on a mounted TV, waiting to board a Frontier Airlines flight. Not a private charter, Frontier, the airline with budget fares and animal tails on the planes. Drake fans went immediately to Whisper My Name. Within minutes, the lyric was everywhere. Quote tweets stacking up by the thousands. Meme templates flying. Complex confirmed. Ross had been spotted boarding a commercial Frontier flight. Ross did not stay quiet. He hopped back on social media and addressed it directly. His framing was simple. "I chose to fly commercial. Not a financial necessity, a rational decision." And look, that argument is not entirely wrong. Even in his own book, he has written about the economics of private aviation, acknowledging that flying private every single time does not always make financial sense. Fuel costs, routing, logistics, sometimes commercial is just smarter. But here is where that defense collapses. You cannot spend 2 years of a beef campaign mocking your opponent's jet, calling his aviation inferior, spending $500,000 on your own jet's paint job as a flex point, and then turn around and say you fly commercial when it makes sense. You forfeited the right to be practical the moment you made private jets part of your diss campaign. The irony is not that Ross flew commercial. The irony is the context he built around himself. 50 Cent, who has been trolling Ross with Swiss watch consistency for nearly 20 years, piled on immediately. Uncle Murda joined. The moment stayed alive in the news cycle because every new reaction fed the machine. Drake himself stayed publicly silent on the airport specifically. He already said it on Whisper My Name. The lyric exists, the photo exists, the internet did the rest. That is the real craft in what Drake did here. He did not need to respond in real time. He planted a line in an album 27 days before life handed the internet the photograph to attach it to. Whether that was intel, coincidence, or just Drake understanding that rappers who perform wealth at Ross's level are always one unguarded moment away from the curtain slipping. Either way, the result is the same. The bar aged, the photo confirmed it. Ross's Set in Stone has to come out now in this atmosphere. The album he promised would outlast Ice is dropping while the biggest boss is explaining his Frontier seat to the internet. Stone lasts forever, Ross said, but right now, the culture is asking a different question. Does Maybach Air fly economy? Drop a comment. Is this the beginning of the end for the Biggest Boss era, or does Ross flip the narrative on Set in Stone?